Shalom, all praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, Umayusoko Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Ratazah. This lesson is edifying and informative. In the news, sanctions against Russia are impoverishing EU, French MEP. The title of this article had immediately reminded me of the prophecy written in the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16, which reads, "And the 10 horns represents the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast. The beast represents NATO and the EU, with America being an extension of that empire, which is the revival pagan Roman Empire. These shall hate the whore. The whore is America, Babylon the Great, and shall make her desolate. And how will the 10 horns, which represents the EU nations, which the Apostle John sawest upon the beast, which again is the pagan Roman Empire, which came back in the form of NATO and the EU, with America being an extension of that empire, make America Babylon the Great desolate. How will this happen? By America's allies shooting ICBM nuclear missiles upon America Babylon the Great. According to biblical prophecy, the ICBM nuclear missiles are also, according to the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 25, the weapons of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's indignation, which means his righteous anger. For the Lord is righteously angry at the wicked every day, as it is written. And that is how the whore, which is America Babylon the Great, shall be made desolate and naked by reason of her allies shooting nuclear missiles upon her, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So according to biblical prophecy, America Babylon the Great will be burnt by nuclear fire, according to biblical prophecy. Thierry Mariana said restrictions against Moscow had backfired on the countries that imposed them. And the EU, or the Eurozone, that had imposed massive sanctions against Moscow, did in fact shoot themselves in the foot, because these sanctions backfired. And the only country that had benefited from these sanctions were, you guessed it, the whore, America Babylon the Great, and her mother, Great Britain. Western sanctions against Russia have ended up damaging the nations that imposed them. French European Parliament member Thierry Mariana has told the TV Libertaires TVL channel. In an interview aired on Saturday, Mariana said sanctions had been intended to ruin the Russian economy, but on the contrary, they impoverished us. Right, and they did impoverish the Eurozone, especially after the sabotaging of the Nord Stream pipelines, which were vital pipelines between Germany and Russia, citing the strain on the EU economy. The MEP said he was surprised that French President Emmanuel Macron was positive about the potential expansion of the bloc, which is something that Russia had always been complaining about, hence the current situation in Europe, because they feel threatened. Nations hoping to join the EU must meet the so called Copenhagen, if I pronounce that correctly, criteria, a set of rules that include the acceptance of all EU legislation, a functional market economy, the rule of law, and a stable democracy. Ukraine and Georgia are among several countries keen on EU membership. However, widespread corruption in Ukraine has even provoked concern in its biggest sponsor, the US. But now the US has completely abandoned Ukraine and shifted its attention to the Middle East. In a document setting out future cooperation with Kyiv released earlier this year, Washington stated that political control wielded by the oligarchs who rose since Ukraine's independence has fueled a system of corruption and anti democratic trends. So they're getting ready to replace the current regime in Ukraine. Don't be surprised if they take that guy Zelensky out and put somebody else in there that's gonna be more competent for their schemes. Mariana told TVL that he expects the financial burden to fall on countries such as France or Germany to deal with issues that accompany the accession of new EU members. The MEP also argued that joining NATO or the EU would not necessarily be the best way for Ukraine to guarantee its security. Ukraine will once again become a part of Russia. The Russian economy has seemingly adapted to sanctions imposed since the beginning of Moscow's military operation in Ukraine in February 2022. Please pardon me. The Russian Finance Ministry and the European Commission have both forecast positive GDP trends for this year, predicting growth of 3% and 2% respectively. The EU is currently discussing a 12th round of sanctions against Moscow, potentially including a ban on Russian diamonds and personal restrictions against relatives of the political leadership. However, the talks are reportedly at a standstill due to Hungary's intention to veto the package. This concludes the article. And so, in concluding this title, once again, which reads Sanctions Against Russia Are Impoverishing EU, a statement made by the French MEP, who do you think the EU will blame for their impoverishment and misfortunes since this whole Ukraine Russia fiasco? The whore, America, Babylon the Great. And we know this because, according to biblical prophecy, they will turn their backs against America, Babylon the Great. Recall Obadiah, all the men of her confederacy. So again, Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire, with nuclear fire, that they will shoot, okay, through those ICBM nuclear missiles upon America, Babylon the Great, to burn her up with fire, according to biblical prophecy. In other headlines from the Sputnik, Yars ICBM loaded into silo in Russia's Kolga region. The Yars ICBM, also known as the RS-24, is a Russian intercontinental ballistic missile system designed to deliver nuclear warheads and has a range of more than 12,000 kilometers. So notice it states designed to deliver nuclear warheads. So this is what is known as a MARV or MIRV. Brother can fact check it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. A particular ICBM that is capable of carrying multiple warheads, known as a MIRV, MIRV or MARV, one of them. Okay. It says the Yars ICBM is capable of evading missile defense systems because of its advanced maneuvering capabilities and the ability to launch multiple warheads simultaneously. Let's take a look at this. And so all the men of war, even the mighty men of war, are being prepared for war. And what war? The third world's war, which cometh quickly, according to Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second war is past, and behold, the third war cometh quickly. A war, according to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5, that will be fought with burning and fuel of fire. Therefore the day cometh, as it is written in the book of Malachi chapter 4 verse 1, that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua of hosts. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture. Okay? So, this is just another example of a nation flexing its muscle after beating its plowshares into swords and pruning hooks into spears. That is to say, taking its economic wealth and using it towards the research, development, enhancements, and modifications of weapons of mass destruction, and particularly for ICBM nuclear missiles. For these are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying and informative. Until the next Lord's willing, I say shalom to the elect.